the time he materialized in some kind of a spaceship, the crew got out. They all had either confused or disappointed faces. Julia Smith specifically was not having it, most likely because she was captured and put into jail at a theme park at the edge of the universe. She exploded on the poor wandering. "You said we would be home." "Well, this is not home, you idiot!" yelled Julia. Whoa, 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 whoa. Please distress for a moment. The timey was still broken and the wandering quickly rushed back to look at their console. "We're only like, what, 195,000 kilometers away from Earth, which I guess is a bigger number than I thought. But still." He rushed to one of the windows on the ship, only to find himself looking at the Earth. Can't you just, I don't know, get back into your ship and go to Earth?" asked Michael. The wandering again walked into his ship to look at the console, only for it to smoke and then to combust. The poor ship needed some repairs. So whilst the ship was fixing itself, the team decided to look around and see where they are. There was a lot of dark green boxes and crates, some big enough to use as hiding places. There were also shelves mounted to the walls, as grey as the shelves themselves. The broken timey was right next to a grey wall too. As they walked to the exit of the room, some sort of alarm started to screech. "Warning, intruders!" Artem Pistonov, The Wandering Stories. A Wanderer, an Assassin, and the Federation. The wandering Olivia, Michael, and Julia Smith were running through grey corridors. Red lights were flashing over rapidly. They were looking for some sort of hiding place. There were only hallways with windows showing space until they found a big dark grey oval doors. Hacking the doors with the sonic multi-tool wasn't hard. The room behind the doors was quite odd. It was big, but there were no lights in it. The wandering stated that this has to be some sort of intelligence room. He activated his sonic and started waving it everywhere, just to get some sort of results. Just then, an aquamarine screen just popped out of nowhere, right in front of them. It had white text stating about AFS Predator Class Repeater. As they read all the information, all color drained from the wanderer's face. "This ship is the reason I'm with you. This ship chased me from the Skintox galaxy to here. They damaged my ship," said the wandering. He wasn't cheery. "We did what we had to do," a voice echoed throughout the room. Suddenly, all of the lights went on, and now our team could see where they were. It was a giant room that looked like a theater, and they were on the stage of this theater. Meanwhile, in the several floors, auditoriums were beings, big and small. Some were tall, grey-looking, with long necks and big black eyes. Some were evolved species such as cats, piranhas, leeches. There was even a purple five-eyed Indian elephant with 4 tusks and a trunk so long that it coiled 3 times around his neck. The room itself had only 3 colors: grey, but whiter, and sky blue. The only thing that was sky blue with the triangle suspenders that suspended the long balconies where the creatures were. Strangely, only one of the creatures was speaking. A short, bald grey alien with a big head. Honestly, he could be mistaken for a Buddhist monk if it wasn't for the grey skin and the ginormous head. The Wandering was not happy. "Why did you attack me?" the Wandering asked. "You and your race broke Article 45, Statement 5 of Convention Delta Ralph." The big-headed monk started. "Excuse me, but my race is dead, which means their crimes are out of the question," the Wandering replied with visible anger. Law 15. In a wartime situation, even if only one member of the opposing group survives, all the crimes and misdeeds of the group fall onto the individual. The big-headed man replied in smugness. Statement 78B. Law 15 only works if the individual was conscious. The Wandering was now steaming. "Oh, and besides, Law 15 is no longer in use as of 2018 Earth Standard." That may be true. However, Statement 15. The Wandering sighed and told the confused family to return to his ship and wait for him. So they did, leaving the Wandering to experience basically a courtroom drama. The Smiths didn't quite know who or what was after him, but since the grey long-necked Sis killed them, it wasn't good. But all they had to do was to return to the ship. It wasn't hard. "You know, it's all his fault," said Julia. "You let that man into our house and now he's basically controlling our lives." "I wouldn't say that. He's a nice guy. He's just kinda weird." Michael tried to explain the impossible behavior of the alien. "I think he's quite nice. He helped me fix my toys." Julia showed her own opinion about the subject. "I wouldn't say fix. More like turn a Barbie doll into a blaster," proclaimed Julia. "He already told you that it was non-lethal, whatever that is," said her daughter. "Even though it wasn't lethal, he still somehow broke down our wall," yelled Julia. "Yeah, well, he helped Daddy with some work, isn't that right, Daddy?" said Olivia. "Well, not quite. He just helped me with some calculations. Not much," responded Michael. "Oh yeah? Well, explain why was he scanning the dirt yesterday?" asked Julia. "He already told you he was intrigued by dirt. He's new to this planet," answered Michael. "I don't believe it. I think he was trying to contact some sort of ancient underground bug race beneath the crust," retorted Julia. "He's planning to conquer and destroy this world or something like that." You're too nervous. He's a weird alien that looks like a human who has never seen anything on our planet. Michael tried to explain the alien that crashed near their house some time ago. Besides, when did he actually threaten us? Most of the time he himself found dangerous places by accident. Or was it, honey? Think about it now. How could it be that everywhere he goes there is danger? Tell me, is he just unlucky? Retorted Julia. Well, not always. I mean, remember Sunday when he found us a good spot at the movies? Without him, we would have never taken the first row, answered Michael. Meanwhile, they were arguing about the man that got them into this mess. There were some, or better to say, some things, plural, that were after them. Their footsteps could be heard coming from 2 corridors below. Only Olivia could hear them. Suddenly, what could be described as a light blue high-speed light, ball lightning rushed past them without touching them. A laser blaster. Just then 3 creatures appeared. They had a dull blue skin, 4 insect-like legs. They had human-like torsos and 2 arms with 8 fingers on each. They had armor on their knees, torsos, and helmets on their heads. Their faces had to be the scariest things about them, as they had only smooth skin, where their eyes should be, and their mouths were full of sharp teeth. All 3 of them had what seemed to be black sorter rifles, with green glowing sniper scopes dangling from their belts that there were on their crotches. They were all taller than the Smith's family. Suddenly, all 3 of them looked down at the terrified family. "Identify yourself, otherwise you will be executed on the spot," said the front creature. The Smiths were scared, but Michael, even though he was terrified, moved forward and stated, "My name is Michael Smith. This is my family, Julia Smith, and my daughter, Olivia Smith. Identify yourself." "Alpha Guard Zorthro. Next to me are Alpha Guards Lagnos and Alpha Guard respectively. Are you in any way related to the criminal known only by the name The Wandering? His re-emergence is the reason for this question," asked the front one. The Smiths had no idea what to say, so Michael had to improvise. "The Who? We never heard of him. Who even is he?" As he said that, the bug centaur on the left to the front thing showed its tongue, only to reveal it had some sort of mechanical miniature TV with a red screen at the front of it. As Michael ended his sentence, the tongue machine started to screech and flash red. The eyeless with the tongue took his tongue back and looked at his colleagues. The bog centaurs all took out their rifles and pointed right at the Smiths. The family already knew what to do. They ran as fast as they could. The bog centaurs, however, were not running. They were just standing there and not even looking in their genuine direction. They just stood there, confused. No time for that. They had to somehow find their way to the wandering ship. As they walked, they saw more of these weird bug centaurs. They were all ready to shoot, always going in groups of 3. Now they had to be quieter. They walked through what seemed to be 2 long hallways and a cafeteria. The cafeteria was quite strange. There were only these alpha guards and those grey long necks. As for furniture, there were only grey long picnic tables with dark grey holes attached to the tables, through which came the food. The Smiths themselves were mostly walking very quietly on the catwalks above the whole cafeteria. But sadly, for some unknown reason, as they were walking out of the cafeteria, a very loud creak could be heard from under their feet. Everybody in the cafeteria below looked at them, so they ran. Different ball lightning started to fly past them. Some were pink and oval, some were light blue and round, and some were even cuboidal and black. Just as they were running past the corner, something snatched them and took them in. It was the Wandering. "Chaps, are you alright?" he asked. "Yes, I think," answered Michael. "Well, I talked with the Federation, and they still hate me, but now they've put me at a bigger bounty on me than before," told the Wandering. "Sorry, who are the Federation?" asked Julia. "Oh yeah, we're on their ship," said the Wandering, only now realizing that they were in serious trouble. "So, how did you get out?" asked Julia. "I used the ventilation system," explained the Wandering. "Now, since the entire ship is now after us, how must we get back to the Tiny?" he asked. "Well, the vents, obviously," replied Julia. "No, to crowns, I barely went from the judgment room to this little corner," explained the Wandering. "Can't we just, I don't know, retrace our steps?" asked Michael. "Oh yes, that's a great idea," shouted the Wandering. He took a little peek outside their hiding corner, only to see that it was clear. So they all got out and walked to where they thought would be the Tiny. They walked by the catwalks, the cafeteria, and the two long hallways. Now they were just in front of the door to the judgment room. Now, they had to retrace their steps back to when the alarms were still ringing, which was quite hard. There were 3 ways to go: the left, the right, and the front. The Smiths already walked the front one and got to meet the 3 guards, so it was either the left or the right. They chose the right. The corridor was long, grey and boring, until they heard some sort of footsteps. Sadly, there were no hiding places, so the Wandering told the family to run back. What came out looked to be an anthropomorphic, human-sized cat who seemed to be missing his 2 front arms. He seemed to be wearing a loincloth and a belt with 2 big pockets near his thighs. He was brown in fur color. "Hello there, sir," the Wandering tipped his hat. Hello, who are you?" the cat asked. "I'm the Wandering, and I'm the 2nd worst criminal now. And you?" said the Wandering. "Well, I'm Gustian, and—" "Hold on, what's your name again?" said the feline. "I'm the Wandering," said the human-like alien. "And you're the 2nd worst criminal?" Gustian asked. "Indeed," the Wandering said, getting his hands out of his pockets and onto his lapels. "Well, I gotta say, you're much more polite than the files and the propaganda are telling," Gustian said. "Well, I haven't read the files myself, but I imagine they mostly relocate all of the sins of my people onto me. I had a talk with them in that room." He pointed to the door that led to the judgment room. "And they explained this to me," the lab-coated man explained. "Anyhow, why are you here?" asked the Wandering. "Well, I'm here to destroy the ship," said Gustian, with a flare of evil in his eyes. "Why?" asked the Wandering. "Well, I'm a bounty hunter, but for some reason the Federation has evaporated my entire planet because of me, so I decided to take my revenge," the armless one said with a flare of anger, sadness, and fear. "I seem to have the exact same problem like you, but inverted. Isn't that intriguing?" said the Wandering. "Does it really matter?" Gustian said. As he said matter, his belt pockets opened up, and some sort of silver cubes, all being only 1 by 1 by 1 millimeters big, started to form some kind of appendages around Gustian's armless skin. After around 30 seconds, the cubes fully formed into 6-fingered arms. Intriguing conclusions, my friend, but hear me out. What if we destroy this place together? Said the Wandering. Sure, but how can... Well, you destroy? Asked the armless feline. Well, with this! He pulled out his trusty sonic multi-tool. It shined green. The sonic multi-tool, Mark III, explained the Wandering. To show the power of his multi-tool, he pointed the sonic to Gustian's left arm and activated his sonic. The six-fingered arm shifted into a kind of like appendage, only to then shift again into a tentacle, and then shift back into a six-fingered arm again. Gustian was impressed. Just then, what sounded like shots and screaming were heard. "The Smiths!" The Wandering shouted, "Come!" Both of them ran to the epicenter of the noises. There were 3 Alpha guards. They seemed to be looking for something, or someone. The Wandering and his feline friend knew exactly who they were looking for. "Oi, hello here!" shouted the Wandering. All of the Alpha guards rapidly turned their heads onto the Wandering. "Identify yourself, otherwise you will be executed on the spot," said one of the Alpha guards. "Don't you recognize? I'm the Wandering, the one that y'all are looking for," he shouted. Suddenly, they all took out their rifles and pointed directly at the shouter. But they did not fire. "This is Alpha Guard Zorthro speaking. We have criminal number 2 in our sights. He is not moving," one of them said. Just then Gustian's arms turned into 2 cannons, and they shot out 3 missiles at the guards. As the missiles hit their targets, they all exploded into globs of yellow blood. And the yellow explosion in the room became easier to see, the laying bodies of Michael and Julia. "No, wait, this can't be." The Wandering quickly rushed to the laying bodies. He checked their pulse. There wasn't any. They were dead. Wait, there were 3 people that went on with him onto this not-so-happy joyride. Yes, there were 3. There were Michael, Julia, both deceased, and Olivia. As the humanoid alien listened closely to any sound near him, he could hear fainted whimpering, that sounded like a kid crying, coming from the nearest vent opening. "Stay here," the Wandering said to Gustian. He crouched, just to see what was in the vents. It was indeed Olivia, covered up in a ball, sobbing loudly. "Hey, Olivia, are you okay?" asked the Wandering. Olivia did not answer. The Wandering sat near the vent and sighed. "Look, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry," the Wandering said, and on the second sorry, he felt stinging pain in his eyes. His vision blurred. He didn't want to tell a child that their parents died from his orders, that he failed before them. He did not save them. "Are they gone?" Olivia asked. The Wandering looked back at the corpses. Gustian took them out to the airlock. The Alpha Guards, they abducted Mommy and Daddy. The Wandering wasn't happy with what he was doing. He was blatantly lying to a child about their dead parents still being alive and well. But at least she won't be hopeless. She's too young to be fixed if that happens. Yeah. Me and Gustian, say hi, Gustian. I'm just trying to find them. But those slippery lip slickers followed the orders of those Federation Mumpsy-moopses, caught Mommy and Daddy, and now they're somewhere. The Wandering tried hard not to slip with his lies. "Well, dude, could you please tell me who this is?" Gustian was right behind the towering lab coat wearer. That frightened the Wandering. Well, this is Olivia. Olivia, this is Gustian." The Wandering isn't good with quick introductions. After Gustian explained to Olivia who he was, they wondered what to do now. Gustian wanted to destroy the station. Olivia wanted to find her parents. and the Wandering was contemplating the deaths of Michael and Julia Smith at his own hands. So they decided to destroy the station and think what's next for later. After a bit of snooping, they found out that the only way to destroy the ship was on by reaching sector -4 and deactivating the core. The journey there wouldn't be hard, although there was only one elevator that could go to sector -4, and it was right in the judgment room. The Wandering sighed. Well, somehow this just got worse, didn't it? Look, dude, what if I told you I could destroy it remotely? Said Gustian with a bit of evil in his words. You can? How? Exclaimed the Wandering. It's easy. Like this, Gustian said, and pointed right at the doors that led to the judgment room. All that was heard was a distant click. Now I'd recommend y'all to run, Gustian said calmly. Well, what about you? Asked Olivia. Oh, don't worry about me. Worry about yourself, he said with steaming confidence. And so the Wandering and Olivia ran back to the Tiny. The Wandering closed the doors and dematerialized. Casting. Narrator Artem Pistonov. Storyboard Artem Pistonov. Artem Pistonov. Artem Pistonov. Artist Artem Pistonov. Sound operator Artem Pistonov. Characters owned by Artem Pistonov. Thanks to Artem Pistonov. Special thanks to the viewers. RT8 Productions.